Hi everyone, I'm Jeff Gravatt. Thanks for tuning in to my YouTube channel, Jeff Gravatt Marketing. Been a while, but we're ready for another edition of Let's Go Racing here on my channel. Before we get underway, I'd like to remind you I'm still busy working in promotions, marketing, video production here at Jeff Gravatt Marketing. To get a hold of me, it's real easy. Give me a call at 732-278-3399. That's 732-278-3399. You can also check out my page on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram and Twitter. Also have my own website, jeffgravatt.com. It's that simple, jeffgravatt.com. This next edition of Let's Go Racing, number 11 in the series on my channel, is going to focus on three-quarter midget racing. And a real good friend of the sport, and a good friend to every racer, Mike Tyderback. We talked to him way back when he was going for a TQ Midget driving championship. We'll talk to several other racers as well. And of course we're going to cover all the racing action of the modifieds, the sportsmen, all the cars on a race night back in the 1990s. Again, thanks for tuning in. You need to get a hold of me. Again, give me a call at 732-278-3399. And hey, a special thank you to Lynn Schaefer Productions. He's the person who did all the work, putting these VHS tapes over to DVD so that I could load them into the computer and build this Let's Go Racing series. Again, I'm Jeff Gravatt. A lot of action to come tonight on Let's Go Racing.
The three-quarter midgets are making their final regular season visit to Wall Stadium in 1996, and it's a special event for the open cockpit racers. Hi everyone, I'm Jeff Gravatt. Thanks for tuning in to TV34's Let's Go Racing. Tonight, we're going to take a look inside the three-quarter midget world. We're going to talk to the club president to see where the club's been and where it's going in 1997 and beyond. We'll also take a look at the point race. We'll go back to the stock cars when Harry Hurley takes us for a trip down memory lane. And then we're going to have all the highlights of main event action of the last Saturday night in September. You know, I don't know how we do it. Every week we pack this show. We've got a lot to do. We'll get right to it right after this. The high-speed, open cockpit three-quarter midgets are wrapping up another season of racing. Tonight at Wall Stadium is extra special. The champion will be crowned. Bob Du Bois, the three-quarter midgets are getting around the track quick. It looks like the numbers are growing. What do things look like for the club right now in 1996?
1996 turned out to be a very good year. We increased our car count by about 5 of an average over last year. We're picking up a lot of new members, still a lot of new car a lot of new car owners also. We're doing this through promoting our sponsors through a lot of the media, special event shows, motorsport shows, and whatnot.
All right, now you mentioned sponsors. What kind of businesses, who are the ones that back this division?
This year we have Hoosier Racing Tire, one of our big sponsors, Driving Impressions out of Dover, New Jersey, and Action Cycle in Spring Valley, New York. They're also a big supporter of our club this year.
All right, you said there's more cars. Where do these cars come from? Are they old? Were they sitting in the garage? Are they brand new, or a combination of both?
Jeff, these cars are coming from all over. I'm pulling cars from New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts. They're just a total conglomerate of people coming from every state you can imagine.
Now, you said you built more cars in the car count. How about your racetrack count, your event count? How is that this year? Are you happy with it?
Yeah, we're very pleased with it. We're averaging about 20 to 22 cars per event over only 16 cars last year. And we've done this by giving a little bit of parity among the competitors this year, equalizing out the cars themselves. And we did this by throwing out all the expensive motors and by adding a couple of weight to the overpowering cars.
All right, you said you got rid of some of the expensive motors. How did that sit with the competitors? As the president of the club, wasn't an easy task.
It wasn't very easy. I lost about 5 competitors right off the bat, brought me down to about 11 cars. So technically, I picked up 11 new car owners this year to bring us up to our 22 count. We actually have 28 cars that have run this season. It's just trying to get everybody out at the same time, which is the toughest deal.
You know, another controversial thing was this club happened quite a few years ago now. When people used to come to the racetrack, you used to see them all pushed off at the starting line. Self-starters in the cars now. How did that whole changeover go?
That was a tough transition for our competitors, but it was a great transition for the promoters and the fans. The fans love it, the promoters love it. We're in and out of a race generally in about 8 to 10 minutes.
All right, now let's go on here. You said you got a lot of new faces, new drivers. Tell us about some of those great rookies.
We have had 16 new rookies this year, and it's given us a tough choice over who's going to be Rookie of the Year because they're pretty close in points, and they all did a superb job this year.
All right, how about veterans? Any of them left? Any of those drivers to watch?
I got some veterans here, Jeff, that are as old as dirt, I gotta say. We got Dick Peterman from Pennsylvania, Larry the Sheriff Micheals from Pennsylvania. We don't even know how old these people are.
All right, tell us a little bit about three-quarter midgets. Not everyone has seen them. Not everyone has seen them up close. What kind of chassis? Who builds them? What kind of motors? What goes into one of these cars?
These chassis are basically built by some of the competitors themselves. I designed my own chassis, but there's a Lindblad chassis, which is a very well-known chassis. There's a Pro Car chassis that used to be built by Bruce's Speed Shop, and the rest are pretty much designed by the competitors themselves. Anybody can get a rule book, follow the specs, and build their own car. It's pretty simple.
All right, how about the motors? What kind of motors are in these cars? How much extra work goes in them to make them fast?
That's the ideal thing with our club right now, is that we're running stock Suzuki GSXR 750 motors. You can go out to a junkyard, buy an $800 motor, freshen it up for a few $100s, throw it in a race car and go racing. No more expensive motors.
All right, you say no more expensive motors. You say you're running stock motors. Tell you, up in the grandstands, the car looks as fast as they ever were. Is there any big slowdown in the cars from this changeover?
We're still turning 12-second laps here at Wall Stadium. Our record here, I believe, is around 11.6 from 10 years ago. But the cars are, like I say, the parity among the competitors now is very equal. And you really don't want to go much faster than 12 seconds here anyway, because that's scary enough as it is.
All right, you're talking about scary. Now, I've talked to some fans. They look at these cars, they say they're quick, but they're scary. These guys take some tumbles, no doors, open cockpit. What's the safety record like with these three-quarter midgets?
This club, we've been around since 1952. We've never had a fatality, never had a debilitating injury in all those years. We've had your usual broken arms, broken legs, but nothing more serious than that.
All right, now what do you attribute that to? All the safety stuff in the vehicles. Are you happy with that?
We're extremely happy. We follow the state of New Jersey guidelines very closely. We follow them in every state that we go to keep a handle on our situation. And all the cars are extremely built very well out of all chrome moly steel with 1-inch roll cages.
Okay, one last question. You've went through some tough times. You're on a good year in 1996. 1997 and beyond, what do you see as the future for the American Three-Quarter Midget Racing Association?
More and more cars, more competitors that I can ever imagine. We're just going to bring in as many people to this organization as we can.
You know, I have one last question for you. Just one more just came to mind. You guys rock it around this 3rd-mile high bank paved oval. You talk to the competitors. What do they think about racing here at Wall Stadium?
They love Wall Stadium. If they had their way, they would make Wall Stadium their home track. We could run here every weekend without a problem. It's all up to the fans. The fans got to call this racetrack and tell them they want to see us here more.
You know, the Three-Quarter Midgets have a lot of great drivers, a lot of tough competition. Joe Lord may be the driver everybody's after. He was the winner the last time the Midgets raced here at Wall Stadium. Joe Lord, how's the car tonight compared to when you won here 2 weeks ago?
It's the identical setup. We'll see what happens. We've been out there practicing, and it seems pretty good.
All right, how has your year gone? Of course, a big win here at Wall Stadium a couple of weeks ago. How about the rest of the season? Are you happy with it?
It's not bad. We had some up and downs. We had some bad luck. We had a couple, DNFs that we put us back a little bit, but it's been a good season.
All right, I bet you that feature win a couple of weeks ago really made your sponsors happy. Tell us about them.
Yes, I'm the owner of Hamilton Automotive. They sponsored a car, Quality Lube, which is an oil change center, and Tommy Williams, who trailers the car around for me and keeps it at his shop.
You know, we talk to a lot of stock car guys on this show. They tell us the crew members are important.
Right.
How about in Three-Quarter Midget Racing?
The same. We got 2 or 3 guys that work on it all the time, and they really help out good. They're working on the other car right now, but they're doing real good.
All right, you have a team car, a couple of cars that race together. Another question for you. Is that good for a team, or does it make it tougher?
Oh, it's definitely good. We compare notes back and forth on chassis setups and engines and designs and stuff like that, so it really makes a big difference.
All right, Joe Lord, a good run this year. What do you predict for next year with your race team?
I hope to finish up in the top 2 spots, top 3 spots would be nice for me.
All right, one last question. Are you up to it? Is the car up to it?
Yeah.
Can you repeat with a 2nd straight main event win here tonight?
I think so. I hope so. We'll give it a shot.
Larry Micheals, it seems like you've been around Three-Quarter Midget racing a long time.
It seems that way.
Why do you keep doing it?
It's fun. I enjoy it. There's a lot of nice people here that I enjoy being with, and it's also a big difference from what I do for a living. So,
all right, let's get to that. What do you do for a living? You race cars on the weekends. What do you do other days of the week?
I'm the sheriff of Bucks County, Pennsylvania, so it is a little bit different.
Tell us, how's that work with your racing career and vice versa? Anything go together? Is it a problem? Does it work out well?
Well, it works out pretty well. Of course, if something happens, my job takes precedence over this. And I, of course, wouldn't be involved in racing unless it was okay with everybody concerned, the Board of Commissioners and things like that.
You know, you've got an important job. You're right there in the public spotlight. You ever worry about your safety in one of these cars?
No, I've been hurt a little bit a couple times here at Wall Stadium. I got hurt a couple years ago, and I had double vision for about 5 months. But other than that, I've never been seriously injured. I have a good crew of people, and they take care of me. And we were some years ago. I broke some ribs and were involved in a civil disobedience situation, and everybody gave me a wide berth. Nobody messed with Larry.
All right, car 39, that's been at the front of the pack. Tell us about the companies that back this car.
Well, it's Churchville Auto Body is one of my sponsors. He's a local businessman in Bucks County and just enjoys racing, and decided to come to me one day and said, I'd like to sponsor your car, And so, of course, I let him.
You know, you've been racing since the 70s.
Yeah.
There's been some changes with the Three-Quarter Midgets. What do you think of the division now compared to back then?
I think that's a strange question, because we were just talking about this about 10 minutes ago with some other guys, and I really think we're making a mistake. I think the cars are too fast for what we have to do with them. I think that for what we get out of racing, the money that's involved, no way can you afford to do it with it and make any money at it. I remember when we used to run the 8-inch wheels and tires, and if you ran 3 tires in a year, you were a spendthrift, and we were running for as much money as we are now. I remember one weekend I came from racing and bought a washer and dryer for my wife. And of course, she loved it, but not anymore. It's strictly a losing proposition. And I don't mind that as long as it's a hobby. But some of these guys are really serious about it, you know?
Larry, how important would it be, how nice would it be to win this final race of the year right here at Wall Stadium?
Sweet revenge. I look forward to it. I will be out there trying, but there's not a fast cars in this club.
Mike Tyderback, why are you here at Wall Stadium tonight? You've clinched the title. You could be sitting home. Why'd you decide to come racing anyway?
Well, the pressure's off us tonight. We come down here to try to win the race. We got 6 wins this year, and we're going for number 7 tonight. And hopefully everything will work out all right.
I'll tell you, with 6 wins, it doesn't seem like you were worried about points. Were you? And is it relief to be forgetting about them now?
Yeah, we were worried a little bit because there's a lot of good other guys in the club, and it's a relief to get the pressure off tonight. We just got to worry about going out for the win, and the points we don't really have to worry about.
All right, you've won here at Wall Stadium. You know the quick way around, but it takes good supporters, good sponsors, good crew members. Do you have that?
Oh, of course, yeah. We have Sunoco helping us out a little bit this year, and we've had Ramada Inn help us out. And then we have the club sponsors, Hoosier Tire, Action Cycle. They help us out, Driving Impressions in Dover. And my crew's been helping me, my dad, Bob, and I got Artie and Pete and Bill Bonsma. They've all helped me out during the year. And it's just been a real good year. We've had only 1 DNF all year, and I think we've been in the top 5 every other race. So it's just been a great year for us.
All right, Mike, of course the title is sweet, but what do you look at for 1997 and beyond? Where are you going with your career?
Well, I'd like to get into something, maybe try one of these stock cars here, a Mad or something at Wall, you know. They look like a lot of fun, and they get around pretty good. And more than the midgets, I'd like to go stock car racing, I think.
All right, Mike, you've won 6 times this year. You can forget about the points, but how special would it be to win the final main event of your championship season right here at Wall Stadium?
Oh, it'd be very special because Wall is like our home track this year. We've run here more here than anywhere else now, and it'd be real special to win it tonight and clinch it with my family here. My mom's going to be here. Everybody's going to be here tonight, so it'd be real special.
Joe McFarland in the 88 jumped to the lead of the 12-lap Worth Construction Truck Series main event at the outset, while John Dieno in the 78 and Mitch Brudy in the 02 battled for second close behind. McFarland stretched an advantage early in the event as Dieno and Brudy wrestled for second place. Brudy finally took over second spot just before halfway and immediately went after the leader. Brudy caught McFarland with 7 laps in the books and immediately dove to the inside lane to take the lead. From then on, it was all Mitch Brudy to his 11th win of the year, while Joe McFarland in the 88 held on for second. Tag Neal in the 19 was third at the stripe, while Dieno and point leader Bart Shank in the 6 wrapped up the top 5.
Mitch Brudy, that truck's running strong. I've lost count. How many wins do you have? How'd you get this one tonight?
Jeff, it's number 11. We got to the front. That's how we got it. It was a tough race. Like the last few weeks, the competition has been real strong. The trucks are getting fast. Everybody's getting together. It just, luck had it my way. We got the 11th win. I'd like to say thanks, Cosmos Green Acres Recycling 02. He's been behind us all year. Real strong supporter of us. We have a new supporter just came on with us tonight, so this win was kind of fun for him. Classic Wheels in Lakewood. He's just now coming on with us late in the season, but he saw what we did, and of course another win tonight's going to just help him out.
All right, tell us how you got by. A good battle for the lead until you got in the lead.
Yeah, it was a real tough race. I mean, these guys are all fast, and in the beginning of the year, it was a little easier. We could, just work our way to the front and go. Now, they're all getting fast, and we have to race hard, and that's what we did.
All right, what do you plan for next year? What do you see as the competition in 1997?
We know of 5, 6 more trucks coming out. Some Dodges supposedly going to be coming out. So we look for some real good competition, some hard racing, and hopefully some more success.
All right, 3 more main events in the regular season. How many more can the O2 win?
Well, I'm going to let my crew chief drive the truck next week, so we'll see what he does with it. He said it's his setup, so we'll see what he can do, Pete McDonald. But I'd like to get 2 more wins, and that's 2 more races, 2 more wins would be the best.
Ron DeSimone in the 84 was the first leader of the 3/4 midget 25-lapper, but Brian McGowan in the 69 was there to offer up the challenges. DeSimone stayed out front through the first half of the event as point champion Mike Tyderback in the 43 roared through the pack. Tyderback made his run to the front complete by halfway as he rocketed to the lead. But Tim Adams in the 9 was also fast as he advanced to second. Tim Adams chased the champion all the way to the finish line before settling for second, while brother Don Adams in the 20 posted a 3rd place finish. Joe Lord in the 7 was 4th, and B.J. McDonald in the 1 was 5th.
Mike Tyderback, you told us earlier tonight you'd love to win tonight's feature race. You've already clinched the title. How's it feel to be in victory lane?
It feels great to come here and win again. We won our 4th feature of the year tonight. We weren't that good in the heat race, but the crew did a great job with the car. Afterwards, we changed the gear, changed the tires, and the car just hooked up in the feature.
All right, you told us what you did before the race. What'd you do on the track to win this event? You had some tough company out there.
Yeah, it was pretty tough. In the beginning, I kind of laid back a little bit. Everybody was double file in front of me, waited a few laps, and we got up to 6, and then the caution come out, and on the restart, we got a real good restart. We were up to 3rd in 1 lap, and after that, a couple more laps, we were in the lead.
All right, your sponsors, they have to be thrilled. People have backed you all year long, not only all these main event wins, but the title.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We've had Ramada Inn helping us out, Sunoco Fuels, and we also had Hoosier helping the club out, and Action Cycle, and Driving Impressions from Dover, and they've all helped us out during the year, and it's really been just a great year for us.
Rich Kukin really had his hands full as he led the initial laps of the 25-lap Pro Stock main event. First, Kukin fought his 44 every lap as it fishtailed through the corners. Second, Ron Heyer in the 4 was showing him no mercy. Heyer haunted Kukin through the first 9 laps until the yellow waved when his number 4 slowed with a flat tire. Point leader Jim Willis in the 62 was more than ready to take advantage of the double file restart as he vaulted past Kukin and into the lead. Willis tried to stretch an advantage in the following laps, but Ken Matlack in the 34 would have nothing of it. By the halfway mark, Matlack was right on Willis's rear bumper. The frantic pace slowed for the 2nd and final time on lap 19, when Scott Way in the 27 and John Capp in the 13 spun on the backstretch. Once back to green, the final 6 laps were just as hectic as the first 19. Matlack chased Willis all the way to the checker flag, while Billy Cole in the 76 closed in for 3rd. J.R. Hellberg in the 72 was 4th, and Ray Gastelum in the 69 was 5th. Jeff Herbert in the 36 and Jeff Loesch in the 1 wrestled for command at the start of the modified 30-lapper before Loesch moved to the front on the 2nd lap. Larry Reed in the 22 held 2nd spot for a couple of laps before Mike Carr in the 99 and Eddie Bohn in the 4 carried their battle to 2nd and 3rd. Bohn finally got past Carr on lap 10 and immediately went after the leader. By the time starter Floyd Goff displayed the cross flags for halfway, Eddie Bohn was right on Jeff Loesch's rear bumper. This top 2 battled nose to tail for the next 4 laps before Loesch lost the handle exiting turn 2 and handed the lead to Eddie Bohn. Bohn then led through lap 26 when Dennis O'Rourke found his 35 turned around in turn 2. Now both Jeff Loesch and Steve Naylor in the 46 hammered the backstretch guardrail while trying to avoid him. Once that accident was cleaned up, there was a 4-lap sprint to the finish, with Bohn holding off the fast-charging Dave Michael in the 60 for the win. Although Michael did not grab the checker flag, he did grab the big prize as he clinched the 1996 Budweiser Racing Series Modified title. Sam Russo in the 3 crossed the finish line third, with Jerry Cramner in the 11 and Doug Giacobbe in the 28, rounding out the top 5.
Eddie Bohn, it's been the best of years and the worst of years for you. A lot of trouble, but tonight, your night main event win. How'd you do it?
Well, we started 8th, and we were on the outside. The outside lane went pretty good, and we were faster than the cars ahead of us, and we were able to get out front and win the race. It wasn't a real hard race until the last 5 when we had that red, and then I had to run a little harder toward the end with Davey behind me, but everything went real well this week.
All right, Dave Michael on your bumper, those final laps. Were you worried about him? He's been fast. He won the title tonight.
Yeah, I want to congratulate Davey. I mean, he's been a super competitor all year, and he's had a super year. He's been right there, and I hope next year we're going to battle him right down to the end. But he's been great all year, I mean, he's got more seconds and wins than you can believe. But you know, we've had a few bad nights, and that knocked us down a little bit in the points. But we'll be back next year. But no, him behind me there, we were running real good. I wasn't real worried about him because he was starting third on that red flag, and as long as I didn't miss a gear on the start, I knew we'd be in pretty good shape.
All right, you may have broken the ice, let out the news. That was my next question. A lot of people were asking what's going to happen with Eddie Bohn and this race team next year.
Oh, we're going to be back. You know, we're getting stronger each week. We're getting some of the bugs worked out. You know, we got a few little problems we had this year. We hope we can get those out of the way. And, you know, we're learning each week. You know, it's our first full year together, and we've had a lot of good times together and a bunch of good guys to work with. But we'll be stronger, even better next year.
All right, how about your sponsors? They've got to be happy. 9 wins. You're the leader in that category.
Yeah, we got Pete and Ella's, Downs Ford's been helping us with motor parts, Country Auto Parts, the Medicine Shop, Delilicious, Steph's Oil Pan, Jessel Rockers. You know, they're all backing us, and they're all real happy with it.
All right, you said you'll be back. You'll be back in that car. Will it still be a Ford motor?
Oh, definitely. Everything in that shop is Ford. I mean, we can't change now.
All right, you know, you always talk about your pit crew and all the people that support you. You got a young guy here. Who's this? How important is he?
This is Jack. This is one of the owners, John. This is his son. He's here every week, and he gives us a hand in the shop. And, you know, we need all the little guys to support us because they got to be the next ones in line.
All right, one more question, one for Jack. What's the fastest car at the racetrack?
Sure, Q.
Jerry Stanzione in the 2 was the first leader of the street stock 20-lapper, but rookie Bob Geiger in the 28 made his intentions known early as he throttled in the second. Through a couple of early race cautions, Stanzione and Geiger battled for the first spot as point leader Paul Jason Burge in the 80 also moved into the picture. Near halfway, Larry Thompson in the 14 made the fight even more interesting as he throttled into the battle. Thompson got by Burge and went after Geiger just before the cross flags, only to slow down in a puff of smoke. A broken brake line was the problem. This moved Burge back in the second spot, and he again began to challenge Geiger. The duo wrestled all the way to the final laps of the event, before the rookie finally left the inside lane open and allowed Paul Jason Burge to race into the lead. From then on, it was all Paul Jason Burge in the 80, taking his 3rd win of the year and padding his point lead. Bob Geiger in the 28 settled for 2nd. Bill Vanderveen in the 19 was 3rd, with Keith Flores in the 93 4th, and Russ Cook in the 39 rounding out the top 5.
You know, we're going to cover all the action right through the middle of October. I'm Jeff Gravatt. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you back here next week on TV 34's Let's Go Racing.